And we are back on the Zero Hour. I'm Richard RJ Eskow, and we've been talking a lot in recent weeks on this program about immigration. We've been talking a lot about Donald Trump. We've been talking a lot about the politics of that whole issue. And here to offer a different perspective on all of this is our next guest, Tefere Gebre. Tefere Gebre is an Ethiopian-American labor activist. He is a refugee from Ethiopia and an immigrant to this country. And for the last several years, he has served as executive vice president of the AFL-CIO. He is the first immigrant elected as an officer in the Federation's history, which is interesting, actually, striking to me. But many things about your story are striking. So first of all, Tefere Gebre, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having you. Even though I'm having a little bit hard time hearing you.
Okay, well, we'll do our best with that. And in the meantime, first of all, you made a video recently, a YouTube video that went viral, as they say. People listened to it a lot. Can you tell us a little bit about that video and why you made it?
I made the video because of the political climate and the politics of hate that's taken over this country, and especially just people's misunderstanding of what refugees are and who we are and what our contribution is to this country. And specifically, just there's this sense coming from some people in some corner of our society that there are some people who are better Americans than the rest of us, and that's just not absolutely acceptable to me. And I'm not going to take any second or third place to anybody on Americanness. I'm as American as Donald Trump or anybody could be. So that's why I made the video for.
Well, and that's certainly a point you make very effectively in the video. Now, you were born in Ethiopia, and in the video you talk about the difficulties you faced getting away from there and why you needed to get away from there, and the fact that you left when you were 14 years old. Once you left Ethiopia, what brought you to the United States specifically?
What brought me to the United States is, as I say on the video, and me and the millions of people like me, we grow up with this imagination of what America is, a land of the free, the home of the brave, and we take that literally. And a lot of us risk our lives and get into a journey. Seeking that freedom, seeking to be free, and seeking to live out our lives to our potential, and that's why I decided to come here. And because not that there was anything special about America, but where we live, where I was living at the time, was just literally unlivable. Literally, your life was in danger every day because of lack of democracy, because of a lack of opportunities, and a lack of everything that we take for granted in this country. So that's why I decided to come to this country and make this country my home and make this country proudly my country. And that's what I did over 30 years ago. And that America has been good to me. I have been able to get quality education. I have been able to join this thing called the union with my coworkers every day, get up and fight for what's right, and get up and fight for workplace democracy. And that's what I have been doing. And,
so let me ask you, if I may, and we're talking with Tefere Gebre, Executive Vice President with the AFL-CIO. On a personal level, your story reminded me a lot of my grandfather, who also left an unlivable place and came to this country, and also was a union leader at one point in his career, although he was a tailor by profession. But what brought you, once you came to the United States and were educated here, what led you into the union as a career and a way of life?
Well, once I graduated from high school, I was a decent track and field runner, and I got a scholarship to go to Cal Poly Pomona in Southern California, and to help my family back home and to have some extra spending, I applied for a night shift job at UPS. And that's where I met my first face-to-face with my first union organizers. It was a union job that provided health care and retirement security. And that was an eye-opener for me. And what workers can do when they get together and fight for what's rightfully theirs. Ever since then, I have stayed in the labor movement, even though I went to graduate school and I went to business school at one level or another for the last 20 plus years. I've been in the labor movement, working at every level of the labor movement, working at the local union, working at the state federation level, working at the also before this job, working as a leader of the Orange County Labor Federation in Southern California. And organizing is what I enjoy, and organizing is what I do, and that's what my destiny is. And I'm still, more than an officer, I consider myself an organizer.
So it was making this video, since you are an organizer at heart, was making this video in a sense a kind of organizing work too?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Was this in effect, you're an organizer at heart and a labor organizer, and it strikes me that, you made this video that people are really responding to about what's wrong with the politics of hate and why we need to work together, and how immigrants are part of, I'm rephrasing, but how immigrants are part of the fabric of society. It strikes me that's kind of an organizer's job, is to explain how people can work together. So do you see any connection between your career as an organizer and the message in this video?
Yeah, and that is. Let me just correct something you said. We're not part of the fabric of. We are the fabric of immigrants. Immigrants are the fabric of this country. You said you talked about your grandfather, Mike Pence, when he accepted the nomination for vice president. Movingly talked about his immigrant mother. Everybody can trace back their immigrant beginnings. This is a land of immigrants. No one has an absolute claim to this land. It is all of our land. And my goal with this video and with all the travel I do and with every immigrant I talk to is that we don't have to take any second seat to anybody. Everybody came here, and this was first generation immigrants who built New York and Chicago, albeit coming from Eastern Europe. It was the Chinese immigrants who built the railroads in this country. From Albert Einstein to Madeleine Albright, these are refugees who are the heart and soul of this country. And I think when the country loses that America loses its Americanness. And that's what my message is. That's what I'm trying to do, is to harness the power of the immigrant community in this country, and not to take this November election for granted. And the only way for people to understand the power of the immigrant community in this country is if we show up at the polls and we say, this is our place, this is our country, and we're going to speak out, and we're going to participate in electing our leaders in this country.
Yeah, there's always been this element, as you know very well, in American politics, particularly on the right and among Republicans, that seeks to divide people sometimes by race or ethnicity or whether they were born here or not. But this year is even more extreme because we have, in my memory, and I've been around a long time, we have the most extreme Republican presidential candidate in history in Donald Trump, really stirring up these emotions. Now, the AFL-CIO has done some polling, and it seems that while Trump like many Republicans have been, is popular among some union members. Seems that recently his popularity has been falling among union members. Have you been following that personally?
Yes. There's this hysteria that he's going to be doing well with union members, especially with white men, not college-educated union members. In reality, the fact is he's not doing any better than Mitt Romney did, any better than George W. Bush did, any better than John McCain did. But at the end of the day, this goes back to organizing. We're organizers, so we have to go organize our members, and we have to go educate our members. And when they understand, at the end of the day, that it's not about black people, it's not about Latinos, it's not about immigrants. It is the ruling class, it is the rich class in this country trying to find a way to divide us so that they can steal the last dollar out of your pocket. That's what it is. And when we talk to our members about that, and the workplace is, and the union hall is where everybody walks in as equal and practice their rights as equals. And our members understand that. And that being said, Donald Trump is tapping into an anxiety that has existed in this country for the last 30, 40 years. That is stagnating wages. We used to complain about stagnating wages, and all of a sudden now workers are seeing their wages actually go down. Not even stagnated, but actually they're going down. And he's tapping into that. But like I said at the end of the video, we fight back against that by working together. We fight back against that by organizing each other. We fight back against that by going to the polling place and at the ballot box and doing our fight at the ballot box. And that's what we intend to do. And hopefully we would do well in this election, not just win, but win with good margins so that we don't have to do this anymore. And, we can have a country that actually understands that there's enough space for everybody to participate in our economy and rebuild this country again.
And I would only add to that, because that was very well put, that it's important not just to defeat Donald Trump, but to elect people at every level, Senate, Congress, and locally.
Absolutely.
Who will support working people and what they stand for. So with that, where can people go to get more information on these issues or to see your video?
Yeah, and you can people can download the video at the AFL-CIO.org, and from polling locations to everything else, and policy positions for working people, everything else can be found at AFL-CIO.org, and I encourage people to go to AFL-CIO.org and learn more.
Well, thank you so much for that. Thank you for coming on the program, and thank you for your story. We've been talking with Tefere Gebre, Executive Vice President of the AFL-CIO. And once again, thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you.